morning, America. Today, not like yesterday, is Wake Up Wednesday. Dirk and others are laughing at me as we speak. What exactly is Wake Up Wednesday? Well, today I'm going to tell you, even though yesterday I started to tell you. Here's the reality of it, folks. Educate, inform, motivate, activate. Today's the active part. The goal here is to make sure that we are doing our part to restore and preserve our republic. My bullet points for this morning are directly related to the AAT passage yesterday in the Un-American United Nations. The initials UN, preceding the word American, fit it perfectly. The Un-American League of Nations. The UN General Assembly yesterday approved a sweeping treaty aimed at regulating $60 billion in the international arms trade. Obama pushed for it, now has it, and it's now down to our Senate to defeat it. Let me warn you, senators in the United States of America, of all stripes, all states, all sizes, all political denominations. If you pass this bill on the American people, let me be clear. This is an act of treason. An act of treason. You will be effectively declaring war on the citizens of the United States of America. If our Senate even remotely comes close to passing this, every senator that votes yes should be removed from office. If they've just been elected, then you need to immediately get a recall petition through your state to remove that senator from office. Immediately. Any senator who votes to ratify this treaty is guilty of treason. Treason. Because they have violated their oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And make no mistake about it, this AAT treaty is an enemy's act against the United States of America. It is a direct attempt to undermine the Second Amendment. It is a direct attempt to create a gun record-keeping policy in the United States of America that I guarantee you will at some point in time go from registration to confiscation. The Attorney General for Texas has stated very clearly in a letter to Obama, if you sign the UN Arms Treaty, and if it's ratified, I will sue. The state of Texas has made a declaration that it will sue. I encourage every Attorney General in every one of the 50, or according to President Obunghole, 57 states, to send a letter and make it very abundantly clear. If this UN Arms Treaty is ratified, all 50 states will file a lawsuit against the federal government of the United States and charge it with treason. Is there any doubt as to what a ratification of this treaty would be? Is there any doubt? I'm asking you straight out. Treason is defined as the betrayal of one's own country by waging war against it or by consciously or purposely acting to aid its enemies. One definition. This would be a declaration of war. A declaration of war. Treason, according to United States statute, specifically 18 U.S.C., statutes annotated, 2381. A person who is convicted of treason may not hold federal office at any time thereafter. Treason is punishable by death. If a death sentence is not imposed, defendants face a minimum penalty of 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. This may be the way to clean up and flush the toilet in Washington. So, all you liberal progressives out there, do us all a favor, vote yes on this, because then we've got you right where we want you. You will have violated the law, violated the Constitution, violated your oath of office, and you will be guilty of treason. And we may finally have a stalwart enough attorney somewhere in this nation that will begin a class action suit, a civil class action suit against the federal government of the United States and begin to prosecute them criminally for treason. Which I might add and remind you again that treason is punishable by death. Common law in England required that defendants forfeit property, real and personal, upon conviction for treason. And in some cases, the British Crown even confiscated the property of their immediate family members as well, based upon the fact that that property was a benefit that came as a result of that treason. So today is Wake Up Wednesday. And what that means is you're going to call your representatives, you're going to call your House, you're going to call your Senate, both state and federal. Take 15 minutes out of your day and make some phone calls. What are we going to actually ask them? Let me rephrase that. What are we actually going to tell them? Well, here's what we're going to tell them. Number one, Jason Smith's House bills, the House Resolution 11 and 7, and the State Joint Resolution S22 on the proposed amendment to the Constitution, the new State Monsanto Protection Act, must be terminated. Mike Cunningham, his phone number is 573-751-1882. That's 573-751-1882. Mike needs a ton of phone calls today. His phone line should be locked down with callers. And if you get a busy, then dial your federal senator and your federal your federal representative. You're going to let Blunt and McCaskill know that a vote for the AAT's ratification is a vote for treason, and that we will brook no treason. You're listening to America's Voice. We're going to take a break. When we return, we're going to talk about this Monsanto Act and more on the AAT.
If you're looking for a new or used pistol, shotgun, or rifle, West Plains Pawn and Gun has over 450 firearms in stock. All your favorite models like Beretta, Glock, Smith & Wesson, Kimber, and many, many more. West Plains Pawn and Gun is also a Class 3 arms dealer, so if they don't have it on the shelf, West Plains Pawn and Gun can order it for you. Even those hard-to-get guns. West Plains Pawn and Gun, 1713 U.S. Highway 160 West in West Plains, or online at westplainspawn.com.
Having difficulty with your computer? Do you think it has a mind of its own? Well, don't be alarmed. This happens to everyone at some point in time. Worry no more. Computer Dave and Kyle can help you out with PC Geeks, a weekly show right here on 107.1 The Point. Tune in Thursdays at 1 o'clock to ask computer-related questions and listen to the web topic of the week. That's PC Geeks here on 107.1 The Point.
Wake Up Wednesday is going to become a weekly feature on this show. So I want you to write these numbers down because you're going to need them frequently and you're going to use them often. This isn't my idea, by the way. This was an idea of Doreen and Mike Slack. Thank you both for a wonderful and creative approach to solving some of these problems. But I've got the bully pulpit. And so today is Wake Up Wednesday. And we are going to spend 15 minutes today making our round of phone calls. And we're going to call Senator Mike Cunningham first. His phone number 573-751-1882. Now, if you have a mobile phone or a phone at home, I'm expecting that you're going to write down a series of numbers, and then you're going to store them in that device, whatever that device may be. Because these numbers should be used by you very, very frequently. Daily, if possible. Let them know you are watching them and that you give a damn. If we don't, they run amok. Would you not remind your child that they haven't done their homework, to take out the garbage, to drive carefully? Would you not remind your children that it's time to come to the table for dinner? Would you not remind your husband that the grass needs to be cut? What is different about the person who allegedly represents you? What is different? Your senators in Washington, Claire McCaskill, Roy Blunt, traitors both. Today's the day for a phone call. 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. That is the main number to the congressional switchboard. You simply ask for Traitor McCaskill or Traitor Blunt. They will patch you through to their office. You will speak to some aide, if you want to call them that, and you will register your position on the AAT. That is the UN Arms Treaty. And you will tell them pleasantly, politely, but with clear conviction, that a vote to ratify the AAT will be an act of treason on their part. And you can use the word treason. Yes, your call will be recorded. You, as an American citizen, had better start utilizing your First Amendment right before you are forced to use your Second Amendment right. I am tired of hearing people say to me, what I do, my vote doesn't count, they don't listen to my phone calls. They do. And they do when they come flooding in. You're wrong. Democrats right now are running scared away from the gun issue. Because despite President Barack Obama's assertion that there's a national push for gun control, he's a liar. L-I-A-R. Liar. Want proof? Why can't they get Democratic support in the Senate for a gun bill? Why can't Dianne Frankenstein get Senate support for her gun control bill? Why can't Harry the Traitor Reid get support for universal background checks? I'll tell you why. There are senators who are going to be running in 2014, and they know their ass is on the line. Unfortunately, we don't have two of them. Ours, and we're stuck with ours, McCaskill and Bluntly McCaskill, until 2017 and 2018, I believe. What a shame. What a shame. So while they're in there, it is your job, it is obligatory for you to pick up the telephone and call them and register the fact that you will not tolerate an AAT arms treaty promulgated by the United Nations to subvert our Second Amendment. Period. And an act in support of the AAT is a direct act of treason against the American people and against the residents of the state that they allegedly represent. Now, I strongly encourage you to write yourself a brief note. You're only going to get a few seconds with these slugs in their offices. And so your job is to make sure that what you say is not emotion-laden, but is clear, well-articulated, well-spoken, no threats, just the stated facts. I'm calling to register my opinion on the arms trade treaty. If you vote for support of that treaty and you vote to ratify it, you will be committing an act of treason against the people of the state of Missouri and the United States of America. Then you're going to pick up the telephone and you're going to call Mike Cunningham. Mike is a state senator. You're going to tell Mike that the Jason Smith bill, the state Monsanto Protection Act versus the federal Monsanto Protection Act that President Obama signed last week, is a non-starter. And that if he supports that and passes that through the Senate, that you will consider that an act of treason against the people of the state of Missouri. It is. It is nothing less than that. This is a giveaway to Monsanto and the agri-tyrants, and we cannot and will not accept it. While you're on the phone with Mr. Cunningham's office, I want you to tell him to support Senate Bill 325. Senate Bill 325. The one you want to defeat is SJR 22. The one you want to support is S325. That is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's the one that says we nullify all federal law against all firearms in the state of Missouri. And Mike needs to know that his constituents are worried, paying attention, and playing a very, very active role in making sure that we are not betrayed. It is time, America, that we stand up and speak plainly. There is no political correctness. There's no room for it anymore. We need to start using language irrespective of how politically correct or incorrect you may sound. It is time for you to pick up the telephone and begin to speak clearly. These calls will be recorded, so don't be an idiot. Don't go off half-cocked. Don't be emotional. Be factual. Use reason and logic. Register your vote and get off. They don't care about the rest of your diatribe. All they want to hear, they're sitting there with a little piece of paper. And they're checking off a box, for or against. And at the end of the day, they go to the senator and they say, "Here, Mr. Senator, here's the calls we got today. These people are against the arms treaty or are against the Senate 325 in Cunningham's case, or these groups and these people are for S325 or for the AAT." You want to be registered in the no column on the federal ratification of the United Nations Arms Treaty. You want to be registered in the yes column with Mike Cunningham on Senate Bill 325, the Second Amendment Preservation Act. You want to be registered in the no column for SJR 22, the State Monsanto Protection Act, which isn't really called that, by the way. I'm not sure what they're actually calling this. I don't even know. The House has already passed it. Why is it that the House and the Senate are racing this Monsanto Protection Act through to put this on the ballot as a constitutional amendment, and they are stalling Senate Bill 325, the Firearms Protection Act? I want to know why. And I want you to ask Mike Cunningham's office that. I want you to simply make a statement. Mr. Cunningham, I don't want you to sign the Missouri Monsanto Protection Act. I want you to vote no. I want you to vote yes on the Second Amendment Preservation Act, Senate Bill 325. I'm a resident. I'm a voter. You represent me. I'm concerned. And I'm taking action. And if you vote against me, I will work to defeat you in your next election. That's what you say. And then hang up the phone. Then give the phone over to your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your adult children and have them make the same call. This is not a one-time event. If you're at work, hand it to a friend and tell him to make the same phone call. If you're at church, hand it to a congregant who's sitting next to you and have them make the same call. If you're meeting a friend for lunch, hand your phone across the table and have them make the same call. We don't have much time left, folks. Are you awake and aware? We don't have much time left. What are you going to do with that time? Fritter and waste it away? Or do the duty and take the responsibility that comes with the benefits of the republic that you have benefited from all your life? You're listening to America's Voice Now. We'll be back in just a moment.
News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. Tightening the tension there a little more, North Korea now blocking access to South Koreans who work at an industrial park across the border.
The Kaesong site had been a rare instance of cooperation between North and South Korea. This the day after North Korea said it would reopen a nuclear facility to boost its nuclear defenses.
Fox News Radio's Simon Owen. Rutgers University in New Jersey is reconsidering its decision to keep its men's basketball coach after practice videos go public.
Coach Mike Rice seen kicking and shoving players at practices, calling them homophobic slurs, throwing balls at their head from close range. The university's top leaders saw these videos last summer but did not fire him and did not publicly say why they suspended him for 3 games in December and fined him $50,000.
That's Howard Eskin reporting for Fox 29 Philadelphia. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Thanks to Jason over at Wits End Classic Barbershop for sponsoring our phone lines. You can call our Wits End Classic Barbershop hotline, and you can get over there and get yourself a shave and a haircut. 2 bits. Well, a little bit more than 2 bits. Thanks to our friends over at Pizza Hut as well. On Porter Wagoner Boulevard, they have an outstanding lunch special, and on Tuesday nights, they have Kids Eat Free. Children under 12 eat for free. They're on Porter Wagoner Boulevard in West Plains. Make sure you visit Pizza Hut. Our friends at the Battery Station, 303 Washington Avenue at batterystation.com. You can also reach them via telephone at 257-7799. Folks over at West Plains Pawn and Gun. Kenny's a friend of ours and a great supporter of our program. 417-256-3000, located about a mile and a half on Route 160 past Walmart. You can reach him also on the web at westplainspawn.com. Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance, half-mile east of Walmart at Route 62 in Mountain Home. You can find them on the web at ozarkmtnselfreliance.com. And you can call them at 870-492-4030. My friend Mary over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, the best damn bakery in 100 miles. She can be reached at 417-255-2253. You can also find her at number 2 Evans Arcade. Outstanding bakery. Bill Stone over at Stone Construction at 2930116. Whether remodeling, building new, or doing some kind of custom construction like commercial or farm work, Bill's the guy for you. 2930116.
Howell County Bank, branch of Bank of Thayer, offers a variety of lending services. Consumer loans are great for car, truck, or vacation purchases. Ag loans work well for livestock and real estate acquisitions. Plus, businesses need to take advantage of commercial loans when starting or expanding current business ventures. Come by today and let the staff help you make the all-important decision easy and stress-free. At Howell County Bank, branch of Bank of Thayer, it's not what they do, it's how they do it. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Weather is a service of News Talk 107.1 The Point. Contact Josh or Cody at 255-2548 for more information on making weather sponsorships part of your marketing plans.
From the Point Weather Center for this morning, a partly cloudy sky. Time to clouds and sun through the day with clouds winning out in the end. The high temperature 50. Cloudy tonight with a cold rain developing, the low 36. Cloudy with rain at times tomorrow, the high near 50. Sunshine Friday, high 66. I'm staff meteorologist Jim Rinaldi, and for more information, visit my1071thepoint.com.
Out of 365 days a year, we celebrate holidays, anniversaries, and other important days. But there is one day you look forward to, your birthday. I wanna wish you a happy birthday. Ryan's Steakhouse of West Plains is proud to bring you the Birthday Club weekday mornings with Cooper & Company. Our daily winner receives one buffet and a drink to Ryan's. Just call your birthdays in weekday mornings with Cooper & Company at 255-0427. Brought to you by Ryan's and the Ozarks Best News Talk.
And happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Cha.
We're back on Wake Up Wednesday. Quick note, by the way, there's a beekeepers meeting for Friday, April 5th at 7 p.m. at the Howell, Oregon Electric Co-op building north of West Plains on 63. If you're interested in that, the topic for the month is planting for bees and good pollen plants to utilize. It's Friday, April 5th, 7 p.m. It's the Howell, Oregon Electric Co-op building north of West Plains on Route 63. And if you are interested in attending that, the topic for this month's meeting will be planting for bees and good pollen plants. If you're interested in beekeeping at all, make sure that you get out there and attend that event. Friday, April 5th, 7 p.m. Howell, Oregon, Electric Co-op Building, north of West Plains on 63. Planting for bees, good pollen plants, and it is the beekeepers meeting. Okay? So kind of a beekeepers of Howell County. Okay. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
I've got a toll-free number for both houses of corruption if you'd like it on their dime.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. 1-877-762-8762.
That's for House or Senate?
That's for both. The operator, you just tell the operator if you want your senator or if you want your representative. You know, I contacted Emerson. McCaskill's a lost cause. I contacted Emerson and Blunt and asked them why they violated their oath to the Constitution on the National Defense Authorization Act, and guess what? I never did get a reply.
I'm not surprised.
No, sir. And that's Joe Stalin coming in the middle of the night to take you away.
Well, let me tell you something. Traitors live in the shadows, my friend.
You bet you, sir. Well, I'll quit taking up your time. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much for that number. I appreciate you. Okay, folks, that toll-free number for the Federal Congressional Switchboard is 877-762-8762. Or the number I usually use is 202-224-3121. We want you to use these numbers, people, because if you're not using these numbers, they just think they can operate with impunity and immunity. It's time to let them know the days of immunity and impunity are over. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Mike, I assure you I'm activated. I just got through sending my emails out here.
There you go.
My thing is, I think it's time for a little more direct action. And no, I'm not talking about armed revolution, but there's the RFID thing we were discussing yesterday before the approval of the Small Arms Treaty.
Yeah.
Man, I think we need to be sitting in these offices. We need old-fashioned 1960s style sit-in.
Well, I would actually...
Standing in front of them, chaining to the door, whatever. I mean, they're continuing to roll this thing forward.
I'm telling you right now, I've been calling, and you're a consistent listener, so I know you've heard me. I've been calling for a multi-million person march and a sit-in in Washington, D.C. this summer that will basically say, we're not leaving until you do. We're not leaving until you do. I'm telling you right now. You know something? People are like, well, how am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay my car payment and my bills? Guess what? This whole thing is about to melt down anyway. And the truth of the matter is, it is time for America to say, we are bringing this country to a screeching halt until you get out.
Yeah, DHS digging in our safety deposit boxes without virtue of warrant.
I mean, who the hell ever came up with that concept?
Man, they should have been taken out right then.
You've got the opportunity. They are sending letters to banks stating that we have the right to go into these safe deposit boxes, and on top of that, you are barred from contacting the owner of the safe deposit box and letting them know that we've rifled through their personal possessions. And they're going in there and confiscating any bars of gold they find, because that's still illegal under federal law. And they're confiscating any firearms they find. And then they're also confiscating anything they determine to be contraband, including pornography. I mean, first of all, I don't know who would bother to take a safe deposit box out to hide pornography. But, I mean, the simple truth is this. I don't care what you have in there. It ain't nobody's business but yours. That's why you have it.
Amen.
And that's why, by the way, when the banker goes there and you turn your key and he turns his key, he opens up the door, pulls out the box, and leaves the room. Because you are entitled to privacy.
Exactly right. And the silliness in Connecticut, my God, passing a law banning how many serialized magazines have you seen? There's a few, I admit, but God,
it's impossible.
You just set up and start punching the things out. They'd never be able to tell.
It's impossible to create a database of magazines. And they know it.
There's a lot of false convictions. That's why
well, no, what it is a simple and easy way to turn everyone into a felon.
Yep.
That's the real goal of this thing. Make no mistake about it, folks. That's the goal, to turn everyone into a felon. And then to utilize this AAT thing to say, well, once we've signed off on this treaty, we're going to declare martial law and follow through on the treaty, and everybody's got to register everything or turn them all in. You watch. I'm telling you, if you are not awake and aware at this point, by summertime, we are going to be embroiled in deep trouble in this nation. Between our financial system ready to implode, between the currency wars that are going on around the world, between the fact that China, Brazil, India, and Australia have vacated the dollar as their reserve currency and are now using either the Chinese yuan, and Russia, by the way, I don't want to forget Russia. All of these countries are abandoning the United States dollar as their reserve currency. And the next step that will happen is the petrodollar will blow up in our face. And once OPEC stops forcing everyone to convert their currency into U.S. dollars in order to buy oil, we are done. So if you value your job, if you value that little car that you have that you so lovingly protect, let me tell you something. It's not going to run without gasoline. The bank is going to come and take it anyway when you don't pay for it. And if you think that you're going to have a job when all of this explodes, you are sorely mistaken. This is a nation that is going to go through a second term of financial turmoil that is going to make the original depression from the 1920s and 30s look like a mild recession. And it's planned this way.
There's an old ditty about that, about stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door, airborne daddy's going to step outside. We need to start stepping outside.
I'm telling you right now, I am tired of hearing people say, well, they're going to record my call. Too bad. Let them record the call. Guess what? They're recording this show every day. I give it to them. I give it to them. It's up on YouTube every day. When are you going to grow some cojones, America, and say, we've had enough of the political correctness, we've had enough of the lies, we've had enough of the treason, we've had enough of the scandals, we've had enough of the nonsense. It is time for this nation to take our country back. And the only way that we're going to accomplish that in a peaceful and organized manner without descending into a civil war and inciting the principle of mutually assured destruction, which is the only thing the Second Amendment really truly represents, is by going to Washington and saying there are 10, 5, 15, 20 million of us sitting here, and we are not leaving until you do. Oh my goodness, what would happen? The whole country would come to a halt. Yes, that's the idea. Drag it to a screeching halt with Fred Flintstone brakes. That's exactly the principle.
And that scares a lot of people. I know it does. But it's better than a
great, it should.
Big margin.
It should, because I'm going to tell you something. That kind of civilian and civil disobedience is the only thing that is going to preclude us from having a much, much, much worse outcome. If we wait for them to activate their plan, we will be caught completely unawares, like standing in the woods with our pants down and the bear comes bursting out of the bushes. I'm telling you, anybody who is sitting here thinking that we have time on our hands to resolve this is living in delusional fantasy land. We are out of time. And hey, thanks so much. We can make our voices heard, people, but if we don't do it, it's going to come back and bite us anyway. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequence of ignoring reality. It doesn't matter if you stand there and pretend the train's not coming. It is. That whistle is a warning sign to you. Get off the track. No one seems to care. I'm just going to go along in blithe ignorance, and I'm just going to continue down the path I'm on. Someone will fix it soon. I'm sure of it. Oh, they're going to fix it all right. They're going to fix it all right. They're going to fix it by putting you in the traces and saying mush. Welcome to the police state, America. You live in it right now. The only reason you don't acknowledge it is because they haven't mentioned it on Communist News Network and fake news and MSLSD. We'll be right back.
The area's best selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories can only be found at West Plains Pawn and Jewelry, your Class 3 dealer for automatic weapons and suppressors, including Gemtech and Huntertown, with a great selection of holsters, slings, magazines, and gun storage options. West Plains Pawn and Jewelry will also do special orders. With new arrivals every week, the area's best selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories can only be found at West Plains Pawn and Jewelry, 1713 West U.S. Highway 160, or shop online at westplainspawn.com.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Joe Kernan of CNBC Squawk Box joins me to talk about how long and how far this rally can go and whether or not Apple's ever going to get back on board, though they had a wonderful day on Friday. And I'll be joined by Congressman Tom Cotton, around whom considerable swirl continues to spin, because he might be running for the United States Senate.
Sundays from 6 till 7, following Money Talk with Bob Brinker, it's the Weekend Journal with Hugh Hewitt on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1.
There's one man on this earth who really, truly gets it.
By the way, what the hell is he doing in the Middle East? Making a complete ass out of himself. What is the point of this visit? To say he visited? It's an embarrassment. He goes into these places, he's a cult figure in the United States. And so he goes to these places and he figures he's gonna talk these people into admiring him and whatever comes out of his mouth. No, it only works that way here.
Mark Levin is on the radio.
Weeknights 5 to 8 on the Ozarks Best News Talk.
There is this product on Amazon that is simply going crazy. The banana slicer, almost 2,500 consumer reviews. I've been trying to come up with an ideal way to slice a banana. Use a knife, they say. Well, my parole officer won't let me around knives. Or how about this one? What can I say about the banana slicer that hasn't already been said about the wheel or penicillin? Obviously, just a pure hoax.
Saturdays noon to 3 and weekdays at 7:35 for your Digital Minute. It's Kim Commando on the Ozarks Best News Talk 107.1.
So what's the purpose of Wake Up Wednesday? It's to try to accomplish the following. One, to let these legislators know, and I expect you guys to call Jason Smith's office on this Monsanto Act, the Monsanto Protection Act. Here's his phone number, 573-751-1688. That's 573-751-1688. There was a conference call yesterday that was attended by the Chief of Staff for Jason Smith and a guy named Dan Kleinsgorge, who's the Executive Director of Missouri's Farm Care. It's a coalition of agricultural groups who support the amendment. Well, let me tell you something. They're in the pocket of Big Agra. And he actually had the following to say. The bill is designed to help all farmers, and they insist that it does not open the door to Big Agra and Monsanto for abuse. That's a direct and flat lie. Period. They also state that the real purpose of the bill is to stop out-of-state animal rights activists from spending enormous amounts of money to sponsor initiatives to hurt animal agriculture. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do the following. Call Jason Smith's office today. And when you talk to Mike Cunningham's office today, I want you to ask this question. If the real purpose of this bill is to stop out-of-state animal rights activist groups, why doesn't the bill just say that? Why doesn't the bill even mention animal rights groups? I'll tell you why. Because that's a farce, that's a lie, that's a false, that's a fake statement. That is to give credibility to something which has zero credibility. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Mike. I didn't recognize that toll-free number a while ago.
I'll give it to you again.
No, that's all right. I got it wrote down.
I'm going to give it to everybody again. 877-762-8762. That's the congressional switchboard. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the reason I say I didn't recognize it doesn't match the old number. Both of them work. I just tried them.
Okay.
877-210-5351. Once in a while they get jammed up, go to the other one, and you can get right on through.
All right, give me the second one again. 870-2 what?
210-5351. Ask for, by name, your senator or congressperson.
Yeah, you can ask for Trader McCaskill, or you can ask for Trader Blunt.
Amen. I'll catch you later.
Thanks, Ben. Okay, here's the deal, people. Why is it that this legislation that Jason Smith is trying to push through doesn't actually mention animal rights activists? If that's the real intent of the bill, why doesn't it say so? Why? Because that's cover. Let me tell you what did happen last week. Or I told you about this yesterday, but I'm going to tell you again today. $5,000 was donated into Jason Smith's campaign by the ROYB. That is a political action committee created and founded by Roy Blunt. Now, what exactly is that, or what was the purpose of that? Well, first of all, this was a PAC that was created by Blunt for the sole purpose of funding campaigns for people who will vote the way he votes. And guess what? He was the one who Monsanto handed a pre-written piece of legislation through, commonly now known as the Monsanto Protection Act, which has people all over the nation screaming bloody murder because it absolutely bars the court from taking action against Monsanto, even if GMOs and GE products are proven to be harmful to human beings. What kind of crap is that? That's a direct undermining of the Constitution. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Mike, it's Mike. I just wanted to point out to your listeners that we have submitted alternative wording for the Missouri Monsanto Protection Act.
Correct. Repeatedly. Numerous times.
Yes, Doreen wrote it. Cynthia Davis reviewed it to make sure that it was good. It would help all small farmers and all consumers.
Now, Mike, do me a favor and tell me the names of the groups that are actively working against this bill now, because there's a whole laundry list, including the property rights coalition groups, and
there are 16 property rights coalition groups in the state of Missouri working against it, including Doreen's group in Mountain Grove, our group in Oregon County.
Okay.
There is the Campaign for Liberty in West Plains and 3 other Campaign for Liberty groups. The CMO 10 in Cape Girardeau, 3 Tea Party groups, the Constitutional Party of the state of Missouri, the Libertarian Party of the state of Missouri, a large group of Republican activists who say they want to be called the Republicans who still believe in liberty, a smaller group of Democrats who say they still believe in liberty, and there's quite a few other normal people. I should get a call today from the Missouri Organic Association to see if they would like to join us. And Lynette Pate's group in Branson, the organic activist group there, and others. We are asking all groups, whether they're political or not, to join us in this. One of the people on the conference call yesterday said the only way we were going to get anywhere, it was obvious, is that Jason Smith wants to be elected. He has to realize that he's going to have a lot of people, including Republicans, voting against him, even if they throw the election to a Democrat that they don't think is worth very much.
Well, the simple truth is this. He is filling in for Joanne the Trader Emerson, who was a Monsanto shill, whose daughter works for Monsanto as a lobbyist. She handpicked Jason Smith to replace her. Folks, I ask you to add the numbers up and draw whatever conclusion you can from that. But now Monsanto is trying to push a bill through on the state side that they just got passed on the federal side, and you better say no. I'm telling you that the sum of treason that is being fostered upon Americans right now is so out of control. The total sum of the tyranny being exercised against the people by within our republic on all fronts by all parties equals a very, very dark quotient. How long, America, will we stand beside and allow this treason to continue?
Mike, one of your callers earlier said he had sent emails this morning. That's good, but phone calls are worth a lot more.
Well, both. Do both. I don't want it limited to one. I want you to do both. Everyone who is listening to this show today, tonight on YouTube, tonight when they listen to this as it repeats this evening between 8 and 9 o'clock, anyone who's watching this streaming, get on the phone to your senator. You're going to fight against the arms treaty. You're going to tell your senator that a vote for the arms treaty on the federal side is treason, and an act of treason will not be tolerated. You're going to tell your state senator, if you're within the state of Missouri, that this Monsanto Protection Act being shoved down our throats by Jason Smith on his way to the federal House seat is unacceptable. And if they vote for that, you will do everything in your power to make sure that they are removed from office at your first available opportunity. And then you're going to tell your senator that you expect him to support SB 325, the Second Amendment Preservation Act, and to stop pissing time out the window and dawdling on it and get it passed now.
And on the Senate side, the Smith bill is on the fast track.
Why is this thing got submitted, a couple of weeks ago, and already it's racing through here like yogurt through a goat. And all of a sudden, it's taken precedence over everything else. You want to talk about money talks? Let me tell you something, folks. Monsanto is greasing the skids to your senators and representatives right now. This company is evil personified. And if you don't take action to stop them, they will own you, your food supply, your kids, your life, your business, your farm. Time is up.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone, get down and write an email, and do your duty. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
I've had it, people, and I'm going to tell you something. If you're not going to take this action today, do me and yourself a favor and go find something else to do when I'm on. I don't want to I got no brook with you, and we have no truck together unless you are going to actually become an activated participant in this republic. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Either you're going to help or you can find some other place to go, because I don't want to deal with it anymore. I only want serious people who are going to actively participate in the restoration and the salvation of this republic. And if you're unwilling to do that, then I don't know why you're listening anyway. You're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time. This is an activation show. This is an activist cause. I am an activist. And you're either with me or you're against me. You're either with this nation or you're against it. You're either going to fight to save it or you're going to stand with those who want to steal it. The choice is yours. But no more mamby-pamby, no more milquetoast, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more nonsense. You're either on the ball and you're rolling with us, or get off the truck. Really. Find us at americasvoicenow.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/America's Voice Now. Find this show on YouTube. And when you find the show on YouTube, email it to 50 people you know and say, this is what we need to be doing to restore our country. I don't care if it's the Monsanto Act. I don't even care if they live in Missouri. Make sure they know somebody out here is fighting for them. YouTube.com/America's Voice Now. Send them links. Send them this show. Send them the one I did about the Second Amendment. Send them a couple of shows that you feel have impact on their issue or their life. America's Voice signing off for today.
We are the Ozarks' best news talk, KBMV Birch Tree.